Welcome back to JBJMTB. I'm Jules. Thank you for tuning in again. This week's video is going to be a little bit different. If you haven't seen my last couple of videos, I've bought myself an e-bike. I'm the e-bike guy now. So to transport said e-bike, I've needed to make a purchase. So that's what this video is about. Let's get into it. So, what I've bought is a huge shout out to Shannon at AMS. He's got me a cracking deal. On AMS, just touching on AMS, his website doesn't have everything that he sells on there. So, this particular item is not on the website. So, I messaged him and said, do you know anyone? And he said, listen, I can get them. So I'm going to put a link in the description and you can just email him directly if you want any one of these, or send him a message for anything and he can either help you or he can't. But don't just be discouraged by if it's not on the website, he doesn't sell it, basically. So what I've got is a new bike rack. Turn it around. It's a BUZZ rack. More specifically, let me just turn that up. It's a BUZZ RACK E-HORNET H2. Ebike Specific. And that was the main reason. Basically, my old Yakima single speed, fantastic rack, but my new bike is 1300 wheelbase, so it's really long. It hangs out, half a tyre hangs out the side of my car, which isn't ideal. And as I had it on the back, it was slowly sagging, so it was only a matter of time I'd be driving on the freeway and ping, Gonski. So I needed to invest in an e-bike rated bike rack. So that's what I got, BUZZ RACK. It's a 2, which is handy if I ever want to take my kids, or want to take a bro, want to take another fella at Miko or anyone else. And I can also take another e-bike. It's rated for 2 e-bikes, 60 kilos. So I'll unbox it and I'll get all the components out there. I don't want to put you through the unboxing shit, so I'll open it up and get all the gear out and then we can have a look at it. Okay, so this is what's come out of the box. So obviously all the parts, some assembly required, the instructions, all the bolts and shit. These two, however, are extras. So we have light bar, indicators, number plate, should be sick, and this is a ramp that is just awesome. So these are extras. You have to pay extra to get these two, but because of the size of the bike, I think a light bar is essential, because I'm going to be covering my indicators on my car, and then just due to the weight of the bike, days full of riding, nothing to be easier than just wheeling her up the ramp onto the rack. So that's why I went with that. So yeah, like I said, some assembly required. Now I'm going to do my first ever time lapse. So yeah, I'm going to build this thing, and because I wouldn't want to put you all through that, so we'll set up a time lapse. So this bolt goes where? Oh, okay. So as you can see, the sun is coming down. That wasn't too hard to put together, pretty easy actually. Probably took half an hour or so. Yeah, not too tricky. So let's take a quick closer look at it. I mean, if we just take a closer look at it here, it's a hitch. Fits into a 50mm hitch. I'll put the bike on in the next clip, but this undoes, which tips the whole thing back and still leaves it on the car, so I can get into the garage, get into the boot of the car, and then you tighten it off. Yeah, so once I put it onto the car, which will be the next clip, once I put it onto the car, it'll be the next clip, and then I'll show you how the bike goes on it. Yeah, really buzzing, pun intended, for the BUZZ RACK. So yeah, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna make my life a hell of a lot easier. So next clip we'll be putting the bike on. Okay, so here's the rack just set up just before I put it on the car. Here's the rack all set up, put it on some sawhorses. I fitted it on the light bar, and I just wanted to bring up something, so we'll sit you down here. Okay, so the light bar comes with, it's all exposed. So for argument's sake, if you were to use a regular Australian number plate, it would cover most of it. Possibly wouldn't even fit in, but it would cover most of it, which you could get away with. But in Australia, I don't know where anywhere else in the world, but in Australia we need accessory plates. So this is the size, exact size of a accessory plate. So it goes in there, which in my opinion, it has to work, but obviously I don't like this part here and this part here. So what I've personally done is found a piece of aluminium flat aluminium, 1mm thick, in my garage. Cut it to size, drilled some holes for the catches and all that sort of stuff, and with that going there, it's going to cover up the sides, make it look a little bit more professional. So I'll put it on and show you how we look. So this is all set up with the panel in there. See, it comes with clips to hold it all back, so yeah, it looks a little bit better in my opinion. Okay, so what it also comes with, I can see this, it's a spanner for it. Turn it over, got 17mm spanner, 10mm and 19mm BUZZ RACK, and this also comes with this, and this is how we fix it to the car. Threaded it here. This is a 19mm spanner, and then it's got the key lock. So once it's done clips, and then you clip it back on, lock it so that it can't come off, and then you close it. Slides in like so, 50mm. Okay. So then we get this guy, push him in the hole, and inside the pipe there's a threaded nut, so that's already grabbed on. Get my 19mm spanner, tighten it down, I tightened it down pretty tight, and that's absolutely no rocking. It's really, really good. So as I mentioned, then we've got this part that hangs out the other side. Click him on and it's got a little catch part in there. Slide that on. Get the key, tighten it, and it's not coming off. Put the cap on it so no water gets in it, and then it's locked to the car. And this is another reason why I bought it. Indicators. So pop this into the socket to your car, and whatever you do in the driver's seat comes out on these bad boys. So yeah, stoked. Now the last component is the ramp. Now it's telescopic, just undoes and extends, and then on the rack itself it has these little, so it's just as simple as lining that up. That's not going anywhere. It's got rubber catches, and if we look back we can just wheel it straight onto the rack. So okay, so this is going to be how we put it on. Obviously got the go up in the front, line the bike up, wheel him on, pedal goes behind, and this grabs onto the top tube. I like to just hold it there so it doesn't fall back and forth, and then you look left and right just to see how far you're hanging out. So we could come it back a bit. Not a great deal because of my top tube. And then with these clips, clip the tyres in. They've got rim, just a matter of pull. And that's it basically, sitting in there. Come around the back. Once again, set up the, and just pull. Now with this part, it's just a matter of tightening it up clockwise. It's got really good rubber, so it's not going to affect your top tube. Plus I've got frame protection. You don't need to tighten up, just secure. And once again, we've got the key here. So I get the exact same key to lock, undo it, and now it spins freely. Now, if someone wants your bike, they're going to steal it. This particularly, and the lock on the hitch, will definitely slow them down. If they want it, they'll get it, but this is just basically going to slow them down. So then I go through, just tighten that up, come around the front, tighten that up, and now they've got these sliding parts, so you can, not going to affect. I've had got some damage onto the rubber, the plastic parts anyway, and the cat goes through. Hello Milo, little cameo from Milo. This is for your second bike that goes on the back, or if you've got a top tube and super paranoid. You could put it onto the top tube if it fits, but mine doesn't fit on mine. So yeah, there's the bike on the back of the rack. Now, to get the ramp out, simple as that. Pop that in the back of the car, minding the cat. And this is a really good feature. So after a day of riding, I like to put my bike on and get all my gear off, or start of the day, get my gear on, leave my bike on, whatever. But you obviously can't close the door, can't close the boot with the bike on there. So that's why we get this guy. Undo it totally, unhook it, and we can just tilt the bike to literally not 90 degrees. The bike is not in worry of going anywhere. And I can just close the boot. Lift the bike back up. Probably be a bit heavier with two bikes, but just with the one bike's good. Tighten it up. Good to go. So there we have it. That's going to be the rundown, and hope that was helpful in any way. If you've got any other questions or any other, leave them in the comments. Huge shout out to Shannon again from AMS for sourcing it for me. Yeah, it just makes my day. I've used it for a couple of months now, so yeah, I've driven like hours drives, 2 hours drive, so the bike does not move, I can guarantee you that, and it's 26 kilo bike, so highly recommend the BUZZ RACK E-HORNET. I'd even recommend the ramp. Just after a long day of riding, it's awesome just to wheel it, push it up there, and I'd highly recommend the light bar as well. Even though I made that small modification, I think it's going to work out better for me in the long run. I don't know if BUZZ RACK have a different light bar or anything like that, but that was what I got set with the rack, so made it work. I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, if you like that, or if you didn't like that, pop a comment, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. And yeah, next time we'll have a riding video. I've got a couple of good rides set up, so until next time, I'll see ya. Ebike out.